The morning unfolded like a delicate watercolor painting, the sun's first blush spilling through the linen curtains in Alara's kitchen, painting the worn oak floor in strokes of gold. A hushed stillness clung to the air, broken only by the rhythmic sigh of the dishwasher and the distant, cheerful chorus of unseen birds. Alara, her hands still warm from folding the last of the freshly laundered linens, poured herself a steaming mug of Earl Grey when a shadow fell across the doorway. It was Finn, her son, just shy of his 20th year. He stood framed in the entrance, his hands buried deep within the soft fleece of his favorite hoodie. An unfamiliar tension radiated from him, a subtle shift in his usual easygoing demeanor, as if he carried unspoken words like fragile glass. He usually greeted her with a teasing remark or a casual, "Morning, Mum," but today, a weighty silence preceded him. "Hey," he murmured, his voice a low timbre as he settled onto a kitchen stool. Alara offered a gentle smile, her maternal instincts already on high alert. "Hey, love. Everything all right?" A beat of hesitation. "Could we talk?" That simple question, so innocuous on the surface, sent a ripple of unease through Alara. When your nearly adult child sought a conversation, it rarely concerned the weather. Her mind raced through a gallery of anxieties, a misstep, academic struggles, a fender bender. "Of course," she replied, placing her mug down with a soft clink and turning to face him. "What's on your mind, Finn?" He gazed down at the swirling grain of the wooden tabletop, tracing its intricate patterns with a thoughtful finger. "There's something I've been turning over in my head for a while now, and you've always been the one person I could truly confide in." Alara offered a reassuring nod, her heart softening at his words. "There's this girl," he began, a faint blush rising on his cheeks. "Lyra. She's incandescent. Funny. Sharp. And I really want things to blossom between us, but I feel like I'm navigating uncharted waters. I haven't really been in a meaningful relationship before." Alara felt a knot of worry loosen in her chest. Ah, young love. Not the crisis her imagination had conjured, but still a tender, vulnerable space. "I just don't want to stumble," Finn continued, his voice earnest. "And I need someone I can speak to openly, without feeling foolish or judged." Alara nodded slowly, her gaze steady. "I understand, sweetheart. It's wise of you to approach this with such consideration. Relationships are more than just fleeting feelings. They require nurturing, respect, and a certain maturity." Finn leaned forward, a flicker of relief in his eyes. "Exactly. But it feels like everyone else has a secret map I haven't been given. I don't want to disappoint her or myself." A raw vulnerability underscored his words, revealing the young man beneath the surface, earnestly grappling with the complexities of adulthood. Alara reached across the small divide and gently squeezed his hand. "You're not disappointing anyone, Finn. Everyone's journey unfolds at its own rhythm. There's no universal timetable or set of rules." He offered a small, hesitant smile. "But there are things I don't quite grasp. Questions I feel awkward asking anyone else, even my closest friends." He paused again, his gaze searching her face as if seeking permission to venture further. "Could I ask you something quite personal?" he ventured, his voice barely above a whisper. "And you absolutely don't have to answer if it feels too intrusive. It's just, I trust your wisdom." A moment of quiet contemplation passed between them. His sincerity was palpable. "Okay, love," Alara said softly. "Ask me." Finn inhaled deeply, his gaze dropping to his intertwined hands. "How did you know? When you were ready to be truly intimate with someone, what made it feel right?" The question, so unexpected and yet so profoundly human, hung in the air. Alara paused, gathering her thoughts. "Honestly, Finn, it wasn't solely about the intensity of affection. It was about a deep-seated trust, a profound sense of safety, mutual respect, and an unwavering comfort in each other's presence. There's no magic incantation. It simply has to be a shared desire, a mutual readiness for the beautiful responsibilities that come with such closeness. He absorbed her words, nodding slowly. That resonates. I think I aspire to that kind of connection. I just don't want to rush the unfolding. I just wish I had a compass to guide me. Alara offered a warm smile. Asking questions, seeking guidance, doesn't diminish you, Finn. It illuminates your path. It speaks to your intelligence and your emotional depth. The next hour dissolved into a tapestry of conversation, woven with threads of emotions, communication, and the delicate art of building connections. Ilara kept the discussion grounded and age-appropriate, emphasizing emotional maturity, respect, and the vital importance of open dialogue. She recognized the rare and precious nature of this moment. Her son wasn't being flippant or testing boundaries. He was genuinely seeking understanding. Later, a sense of quietude settled over Finn's features. "Thanks, Mum," he said, his voice softer now. "I wasn't sure if I could even broach this, but I'm so glad I did." "I'm always here, Finn," she reassured him, her voice filled with unwavering love. "Always, no matter what." In the weeks that followed, a subtle yet profound shift occurred in their dynamic. It wasn't marked by awkwardness or self-consciousness, but by a deeper, more transparent connection. Finn began to share more freely about his university life, his aspirations, and even his anxieties. He sought her counsel, listened with greater intent, and surprisingly, started lending a hand around the house without prompting. One evening, as Ilara stirred a fragrant stew on the stove, Finn leaned against the kitchen doorway. "Got a moment, Mum?" "Always, my love," she replied, her gaze meeting his. He perched on a counter stool, watching her movements. "Remember Lyra, the girl I told you about?" Ilara smiled. "I do." "Well," he said, a hint of nervous excitement in his voice. "I asked her out, and she said yes. Friday." A grin blossomed on Ilara's face. "That's wonderful, Finn. You must be thrilled." "Excited and a little terrified," he admitted. "But I think I'm ready." "You've grown so much, Finn," Ilara said, her voice filled with warmth, "and I'm immensely proud of you for being honest with yourself and with her." He stood, crossed the small space, and enveloped her in a heartfelt hug. "Thanks, Mum, for listening, for not judging, for simply being here." As Ilara held him close, she recognized the quiet significance of their journey. It wasn't about a dramatic revelation or a shocking turn of events. It was about the slow, steady work of building trust, guiding with gentle care, and having the courage to navigate the delicate terrain of difficult conversations. And what did she do when her son reached out? She showed up. She listened. She remained grounded. Perhaps it wouldn't be considered extraordinary by some, but in a world where the bonds between parents and their grown children can often fray with distance, that was the achievement she held most dear. She hadn't turned away. She had leaned in. And that, she knew, had changed everything.